Oh well, this is just a short continuation of the last video, in which so far I think I've got about 13 or plus thumbs down. So it struck a nerve with somebody. But what we have to realize is there's a normal chain of command. The FBI investigates. The Attorney General and the Department of Justice prosecute. Okay? Now, the head of the FBI is not a political position in the sense. The person gets a position for 10 years, okay, but they are nominated by the sitting president at the time. This Attorney General is a leftover from George W. Bush. So he's got another, I don't know how many months or years to go, but not much. So no one has any control on him, and he shouldn't, because that's why they put him in for 10 years, to try to take the politics out of the FBI. But the FBI's role is to go out and secure evidence, and then to turn that evidence over to the Department of Justice, and then they are the ones that do the arresting and prosecuting. Now, the Attorney General, she's at loggerheads with the head of the FBI. Now, the Attorney General serves at the will of the President, but the Director of the FBI serves nobody's will, which is correct. Now, normal procedure states that he would gather evidence and then present the evidence to the Department of Justice. And he overstepped his boundaries, and it's been confirmed by other members of the Department of Justice and by the Attorney General. Now, what clogged up the system here was the fact that Bill Clinton, who I swear, if you've heard him talk lately, I swear he had a stroke on the way. This guy used to be the best political operative in the world. I mean, he was head and shoulders above everybody else. But lately, he searches for words and by taking the Attorney General aside on the tarmac and talking to her was a stroke of idiocy that he should have known better. Now, the only thing that can be done at this junction, but the authority of the Attorney General, is that a special prosecutor could be requested, and the special prosecutor would look into the Wiener affair, not this crossing up between the Wiener and the investigation into Hillary's emails. Then, if anything comes up in this investigation, they can turn that information over to the Attorney General, and it's for them to decide whether or not anything pertinent was found. But as it is, Hillary's guilty by association, and there may not be anything at all in the Wiener investigation. Simply fact that somebody that worked for Hillary was married to this perv Wiener. So, and the funniest comment was that I did the video just so I could say the word Wiener, and I give that guy credit because that was a funny comment. But the direction this should be headed in is a special prosecutor, so that there's no question at all of politics, because there is no question that the head of the FBI certainly didn't follow a normal procedure. This set a precedent of which the FBI should not be known for. You know, there are rules and there are procedures, and he violated them. Now it's up to the Attorney General, I think, that the way to help clear it up, although there is no possibility of clearing this up between now and Election Day, that if Hillary loses, it's solely because of the head of the FBI going out of order and violating the regulations that he should live under as the head of the FBI and stay the hell out of politics. But if you appoint a special prosecutor, then that prosecutor is to look into the Wiener affair. And then if stuff pops up in looking into the Wiener affair that would have anything directly to do with Hillary and her email, then that information can be turned over to the Justice Department. But we're talking one of the comments somebody said, well, was Trump, so Trump violated a few rules and regulations. Well, why aren't we concentrating also on them as well as this? We're more interested in whether he groped women than we are in the fact that he violated interstate commerce with Trump University, which was a sham. It was nothing but a Ponzi scheme, and it should be noted as such, and it should be noted every speech Hillary makes and every advertisement that the Democrats put out. And then on top of that, you have his foundation, of which he has contributed nothing, and his foundation, which is rooted in New York, is illegal because he didn't file the proper papers to start a foundation, and yet he's using foundation money, which is also totally illegal, to pay off personal debts and personal liabilities that he's accumulated along the way. This man is, listen, it's a hell of a choice. If you saw my sign out front, let me take a second and see if I can find that thing in a hurry. Then you'll understand how I feel. And everybody accuses me of being a Hillary fan. I will vote for Hillary, but I sure as hell am not, have not, and probably will never be an actual fan of Hillary's. What I am is, oh Jesus, do I have a picture of it? What I can't find it. Maybe next time I have it ready. But what my sign says is there's a a parentheses, and in the parentheses it says WTF, or what the fuck, and outside the parentheses it has squared, and then there's an equal sign, and over it and next to the equal sign is Hillary and Trump. So either one, either one, what the fuck, and on the other side of the sign there's a thing that says 2016 election, WTF. So that tells you more or less where I'm at. But I'm more afraid of what's going to happen to the major issues that have taken, in some cases, 100 years to work their way to the surface. You talk about abortion, and we thought Roe v. Wade was going to solve that, and apparently not. Trump wants to turn it back to the states. You talk about a minimum wage, and Trump wants to do away with the minimum wage. What the fuck? People can't live on $7.75. Try it. If you think it's possible, you and your wife and your kids go out and work for $7.75, and between the four of you, you won't be able to make enough money to pay a mortgage, to buy a house, to buy a used car, to pay insurance on the car, to pay taxes on the house. And he wants to do away with the minimum wage. He wants to do away with any form of union, and he wants to give tax breaks to the rich. So why anybody can say that Donald Trump, whose products are all made overseas, who imports Chinese steel to build his hotels and stuff with. And this latest hotel scheme, the one in Washington, it's just that he has to book those rooms to pay off the debt on that building. He has to book those rooms at $800 a night. He's now has vacancies in that hotel, and he can't book them at $300 a night. So this is another Trump disaster. That if he ever released his taxes, he wouldn't get 10 votes. This man, even though they say, well, he's being audited, so we won't release this year. The audit for last year, the audit for 2014, 2013, 2012, they're long gone. So release everything but this year. Why? Because we're going to find out he's not worth anything near like he says. This building is Trump Tower. He says, oh, I got my thumb on the Chinese, simply because they rent for me. It's not true. The Bank of China, the largest bank in the world, owns a bigger percent of that building than does Donald Trump. So we're finding that Donald Trump and all his properties, a lot of them are in the red. And this man is no economic genius, that's for sure. But yet you want to turn the nation over to somebody like this. Well, if we end up with him, you'll only get what you deserve.